How's it going? This is Hoiman, and today we're taking a look at the S.H.Figuarts Cure Heart figure. So you do have a nice window to see the figure inside, and then you have a nice picture of the figure here. Moving to the top, you have more picture of the figure on the top, and then as well as pictures on the side as well. And you have legal stuff for the bottom. And then for the back, you have various pictures of the figure. And then you have more legal stuff as well. And to open the box, just lift open the side flap. And then you just lift open the front cover. So there's the figure all together with her accessories. So first you do get some instructions showing what the figure comes with and how to operate the accessories. So here's the actual figure itself, and I think overall going forward this figure has received quite a few improvements over the older Precure figures, but there are still some QC issues which I'll get to in a bit. But for now, the sculpt does look really nice. It does look like the character really well. And then the paintwork is very nice and clean for the most part. But there are some odd splotches of white paint over this figure, like the back of the arm here, two parts on the back there, and then the little dot on the forearm here. So I'm not too sure what's going on with the paintwork, but other than that, the overall figure of the paintwork is very nice and clean for the most part. Even the smaller details on her pouch here are really nice and clean. All the zigzaggy lines on her skirt are very nicely done as well. And then the sort of light shading on some areas are quite nice as well. So taking a close look at the face, I feel that they've captured the likeness of the character really well. And then moving on to her hair, which is really nicely sculpted. So you have the strands of the fringe for the front, and then you also have these parts that come off to the side, and they are quite pointy, so you have to be careful of them. And they're relatively solid as well, so you have to be careful you don't break them. But they are nicely sculpted at the tips as well, which they curl up. And then you have the kind of hearts and ribbons on each side. And they are solid pieces, so you have to be careful of those. And moving to the back of her hair, nice swirls in the sculpt, and then some strands here. There is a bit of a seam line on the back here, which does kind of detract from it, but isn't really that noticeable. And then you move on to her ponytail as well, which is probably the most eye-catching piece. And this is pretty much the start of the Precure figures where they really start addressing the hair. So the older Precure figures, the ones with large hair, were always made from really solid plastic. But with Cure Heart going forward, it's a solid piece, but inside it's actually hollow. So this makes it a lot lighter. So the figure is able to kind of balance out the head joint a bit more, so she's not always constantly looking up, and it also helps the figure's balance when standing up as well. So it's a nice change that the company is actually addressing the hair issue now, but it's still really nicely sculpted. You do have a swirl at the bottom as well. Moving down to her outfit, this is another big change from the older Precure figures, is that this figure uses a lot of soft material, so pretty much this whole torso here with the wings and the heart as well is all softer material. And this does help with articulation and makes it less fragile. And then this whole skirt piece is a soft material, same for the bow as well. So it's nice use of softer material to help with articulation and just to make the figure a lot less fragile overall. And then these parts on the hands are softer material as well, and they help with articulation as well. And then moving down to her legs, again nicely sculpted, nice glossy finish for the hearts, and then the white paint on the shoes are very nice and clean for the most part. So for articulation, the neck is on a single ball joint, so she can look down about that much, and then look up not really a whole lot due to the sculpt of the hair, but she can tilt her head side to side as well as twist, but it is a bit restricting due to the sculpt of the hair. But moving on to the hair, this back piece is on a ball joint, so she can move her hair back that much, forward that much, and it can also go side to side as well as twist. And then the ponytail itself is on a ball joint, so it can move back and forth slightly as well as move side to side. And then moving on to the shoulder, it's on a ball joint, so she can move her arm about however you want, and it's also on a hinge. You can bring her arm out to the side. You can bring her arm forward, and like I mentioned with the feathers, they are soft material, so it doesn't restrict the arm too much. You can also move her arm back. She has the bicep swivel, as well as a single jointed elbow, and then she's got the ball jointed wrist. And then for her torso, it's on a ball joint, so she can lean forward about that much, lean back that much, and then lean side to side as well as twist. And then the waist is on a ball joint, so you can move her legs about however you want, as well as twist. Each hip is on a ball joint, so she can kick about that far to the side, kick forward that much, kick back that much, has the thigh swivel, and then she also has the single jointed knee, and then she has the ball jointed ankle, so you can go back that much, forward that much, can lean side to side as well as twist. So she has all the articulation you'd expect the Figuarts figure to have, and because of the use of a lot of softer material in the areas, she's very much dynamic in the ranges of pose you can do with this figure. The only restriction is mainly with the hair, but other than that you should be able to get all the poses you'd want. But that's the figure. Let's take a look at the accessories. So for faces, she comes with a default smiling face, an open mouth smiling face, a winking face, and an angry shouting face. For hands, she comes with a pair of open palmed hands, and then a rack of various hands, so you have 2 chopping hands, 2 hands to hold her weapon, another hand to hold her weapon, a starred posing hand, and a pair of fists. And then she also has a heart-shaped hand, which is all one piece, so that's nice. She also comes with an extra neck joint, which is the same joint but just doesn't have the hinge, and this is to help support her hair. But like I already showed, she doesn't really have any problem, but it's still nice that they included this. She comes with a pad, which is very nicely sculpted and packs a lot of detail as well. But I think it would have been nice if there was some way to hold it, like if there was like a little hole in the back so you can attach it to a stand. But other than that, it still looks really nice. She also comes with a main weapon, very nicely sculpted and detailed. Nice use of the translucent pink for the heart and the translucent parts for the bow itself. And then this piece can be removed as well. And then she comes with the same weapon but with the bow extended. Again, it's nice use of the translucent pink. And again, this piece can be removed. She also comes with a fairy, nicely sculpted and detailed. And then she does have the ball joint, so you can move her head about. And then finally she comes with a display base. So nice use of the character's name and pattern, and then you have the stand to stand the figure. So my final thoughts are, overall this is a solid figure. It's quite a nice improvement over the older Precure figures, but like I mentioned, she does still have some QC issues, such as the odd bits of paint splatter on various parts. And the main issue is that her leg joints are quite loose, so hips are relatively loose. The knee joints are quite loose as well, and then the ankle joints are very loose. So she does have a lot of trouble standing up without the display base. But with the other improvements I mentioned, such as hollowing out the hair and then the softer materials on a lot of parts of the clothing, it is overall an improvement over the older figures, but she still does retain some QC issues. But if you are a fan of this character or the show, then I can still recommend this figure. And since she's a standard release, the price of her isn't too high, so you should be able to find her for a relatively decent price. But that's my review. Thank you for watching and enjoy some pictures.